Hello everyone, this is part 7 of What If Naruto Went Back to the Past, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. It had taken a day to get back to the village, and right away Naruto and Sakura went straight to bed. All over the village people were talking. I haven't seen the demon child in 3 weeks, said a female villager. And you're sad about that, said a male. No, maybe he's said the female with a smile. We can only hope. In the council room, people are starting to ask questions, said Inoki. Yes, my clan members are wondering where Hinata is, said Hiashi. Same with my clan, the few members that we have are wondering where Sakura is, said Manal. I think we should consider telling the villagers about the time travelers. I agree, said Chooser, we would be able to send more ninjas out to find the sound bases. I disagree, it would cause mass panic when people find out that the village would have been destroyed, said Shika. We have to tell. Too many people are starting to ask too many questions. I would rather it come out in a controlled way, said Manal. It is going to get out soon anyway, said a new voice as Shikamaru stepped forward. Son, I see you got back from your mission to check out the sound base. Did you find anything useful? Asked Shika. No, father, we never made it to the base. We had a run-in with Sasuke and Hinata, said Shikamaru as the council members' eyes widen. Where are the Namakazes? Asked Hiashi, concern in his voice. They are both resting at home after a very hard battle that resolved nothing. However, during the battle they had to summon the Kyuubi, said Shikamaru. That demon's chakra could be felt for miles, any ninja traveling in that area could sense it, said Danzo, so people know that the Kyuubi is back. Not yet but soon. Also Sasuke killed everyone in the port village and took the money ships, said Shikamaru. So they are going to ask why their money never got there, and that will lead to an investigation by the government, said Manal. Yes, also another 2 time travelers have appeared, said Shikamaru as Hiashi started to rub his temples. How many of these travelers are there? Asked Hiashi. These should be the last 2, said Shikamaru. You see, when we opened the portal to the past for us 4, Sasuke and Hinata found a way to attach to their energy. So how many people we sent back is the same number that they could. So who are these final 2 time travels? The generals of the Sound Army or some other super strong force? Asked Inoki. We don't know about one of the travels, but the other is a genin that they kped from our time during an invasion, said Shikamaru. Why would they want a genin? Asked Chooser. Because she is the youngest genin ever to come from this village. She is 4, said Shikamaru. Wait, even Itachi Uchiha didn't become a genin until he was 7, and Hitaki Kakashi wasn't a genin until he was 5, said Danzo. Who could possibly beat their record? How about my daughter? Said Tsunade as she walked in, followed by a blonde-haired little girl. The council members looked back and forth between the Hokage and the little girl. My god, said a council member. So she is the daughter of the Hokage? I don't see how she could be a genin, she looks like a normal little girl, said Danzo as Tsunade looked at the girl. Show the Mimi, said Tsunade as the Emi walked toward the wall and hit it with her fist. Soon a huge crater the size of a large cart appeared. I see, so she has your chakra strength, said Danzo. She also knows my stealth Eustace, said Jiraiya as he appeared behind the council. She is the daughter of 2 of the 3 Sannin, said Shikamaru. That is why she is so talented, and that is why Sasuke brought her to this time. He wanted to use her in the next generation of sound ninjas. I see. Does she know anything about where Sasuke Uchiha is at? Asked Danzo. She doesn't remember, said Tsunade. That is why we want Inoki to do one of his clan memory recovery Eustace on her. She may know where he is at. I will gladly help out, said Inoki. However, first we need to decide what we are going to do about the villagers and clan members who are starting to ask questions. Why not tell them? Said Temari as she walked in. So you finished the letter to the Sand Village already? Asked Shikamaru. Yeah, I did. As to telling people, start up and work your way down. Start with the clan council members and high-ranking Junin. Then give them time to process the information and then let them tell the regular Junin. Then the Chunin before the villages, that way the ninjas will have already processed the information before the villages. Therefore if there is any trouble raised by the villages, the ninjas will be ready. Said Temari as the council members nodded their heads. That is indeed a well thought out plan. Said Shika, I say we vote on that issue. You forget that we need the Namikas to vote. Said Chooser. I am sure that Naruto wouldn't mind. Said Shikamaru, he would be more upset if you dragged him out of bed right now. Still we need him to be here for a vote to happen. Said Danzo, bring him right away. Fine, I will go get him. Said Jiraiya as he disappeared. A few minutes later a very groggy Naruto appeared in a golden flash. He was dressed in only a pair of shorts and a thin shirt. What did you want me for? Yawned Naruto. Naruto Namikas, show some respect to this council. Shouted Danzo. Well, you guys did say to come right away. So let's just vote this, tell the higher-ups and Junin about us and the future thing. Said Naruto, I vote yes. Naruto waited as everyone voted yes before leaving to rejoin Sakura in bed. So Lady Hokage, do you wish for me to do the memory walk with your daughter here or somewhere else? Asked Anoiki. I want to do it at the hospital just to be safe, said Tsunade. Okay, I suggest that Shikamaru and Temari are there as well to make sense of what I find inside the girl's mind, said Anoiki. I agree, let's meet in Sealing Room 3 in an hour, said Tsunade. As you wish, Lady Hokage, said Anoiki, I shall go home and collect some things I will need. Meanwhile elsewhere in the village. Okay class, we are dismissed for lunch and then you have kunai training, so I will see you all tomorrow, said Iruka as the class of future ninjas groaned. As everyone started leave, a young boy with a scarf around his neck. Iruka-sensei, can you help me with something? Said the boy. What is it, Konohamaru? Well, none of us have Naruto in over 3 weeks, said Konohamaru. Do you know where he is? I am afraid not. He is more than likely out on a mission, but I will check up on him, said Iruka before Konohamaru walked out to his lunch. A few minutes later Iruka was at Naruto's apartment. What do you mean he moved everything out? Well, a couple of weeks ago a man came, he had a key, he took everything and said that Naruto wasn't coming back. Said the landlord. Did he tell you where Naruto went? Asked Iruka. No, he didn't, and even if he did, the only reason I put up with that demon being in this building was because I could charge him 5 times the normal rate because I was the only one who would take him, said the landlord. He may have been a demon, but money is money. I don't have time to deal with you, I need to find him, said Iruka before he disappeared. He checked all the Ramon stands but found no Naruto. Soon he ran into Kakashi, who was sitting in a tree reading his book. Well, hello Iruka, how can I help you? Asked Kakashi, not looking up from his book. Kakashi, where is Naruto? No one has seen him, said Iruka as Kakashi closed his book. Iruka, trust me, I want to tell you but I can't, but trust me, he is safe, said Kakashi. Still, I will like to know where he is, said Iruka as Kakashi looked at Iruka. I will have to ask the Hokage, and only if she wants you to know. So I will get back to you, said Kakashi before he started to walk toward the Hokage's office. Konoha Hospital. In the hospital sealing room, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Emi, Anoiki, Shikamaru and Temari stood as Anoiki explained the memory walk to the little girl. Don't worry. I will be with you all the way, and at any point you get scared just tell me and we will stop, said Anoiki. Let's do this, said Emi as Anoiki nodded his head. Okay. Focus on the last memory that you remember, said Anoiki as he went through hand sign, placed his hands on either side of Emi's face and began pumping chakra into the girl's mind. Anoiki closed his eyes, and when they opened again he saw fires and smoke and dozens of ninjas. Emi stood beside him and the memory version of her stood staring at Tsunade with a sword in her gut, and Jiraiya was up against a wall missing a leg. Soon a tall woman with Hyuga eyes and a sound headband around her head appeared in front of the memory version of Emi, who, like the real one, was shaking in fear. That is the Snake Lady, said the real Emi. So this is Hinata Uchiha, said Anoiki before the memory kept going. Well, look like we got you, Emi, said Hinata as she held the leaf headband off the little girl. Welcome to the sound. With that the memory went black and the two people stood in the darkness. Okay, I want to focus my chakra to see if we can unlock any memory, said Anoiki as a blurry image appeared of a man sitting behind a desk. So the dupe is going into the past, said the man behind the desk. Yes, Sasuke-kun, that fool guy had a big mouth, said Hinata. I see, so you believe that we can piggyback on their chakra as they travel through time, said Sasuke. Yes, but we can only send 4 people back, said Hinata. Okay, you and I will go for sure. We will bring the 2 most promising genin we caught back with us, said Sasuke. I want the Hokage's daughter. By the time those 2 old Sannin have a chance to get together, their village will be burning. Also bring Nicta. I will get them both ready. However, Nicta will be hard because of her special chakra she has stops you from getting control over her mind, said Hinata. That is why I want to bring her into the past. If we can unlock that chakra and find a way to implant it in a more controllable people, said Sasuke. Now go prepare. Inoki broke the jutsu to look at the other people in the room. I put as much chakra as I dare to use on a young mind. It could hurt her if I try to pump more chakra into mind. However, we did uncover one memory. Does the name Nicta mean anything? Nicta, they brought Nicta back with them, said a stunned Shikamaru. Who is Nicta? Asked Tsunade. She is a 4-year-old kid from our time and she has a very special bloodline limit, said Temari. Now she isn't a ninja yet, but if the sound finds a way to reproduce that white chakra into the regular ninjas, they won't need the demons to be unstoppable. Wait, white chakra? Didn't Tsukumo Hatake have white chakra as well? Asked Jiraiya. You're talking about the White Fang, Kakashi's father, said Inoki. Yeah, but his white chakra was a genetic mistake. He didn't pass it on to Kakashi, said Jiraiya. So how could there be another person with white chakra? It skipped a generation, that is how, said Temari as the others looked at the 2 older time travelers. Wait, are you telling us that Nicta is Kakashi's daughter? Asked Tsunade. Kakashi's and Shizune's daughter, yes, said Shikamaru, and we have to find her. Kakashi walked into the Hokage's office to find Shizune filing some paperwork. Shizune, do you know where Lady Hokage is? Asked Kakashi as Shizune looked up. She's having Inoki do a memory walk jutsu on her daughter from the future, said Shizune as Kakashi looked at her. Daughter from the future? With all the strange things that have happened these few past weeks, why am I not surprised? Said Kakashi. Well, I have another surprise for you too, said Tsunade as she stormed into the room. Behind her was Temari and Shikamaru. Lady Hokage, I didn't accept you back so soon. I thought that you would have wanted to spend time with Emi, said Shizune. Don't worry, I will be gone as soon as I talk to the 2 of you, said Tsunade. Lady Hokage, I need to ask you a question, said Kakashi. Make it fast, because I really need to talk to the 2 of you, said Tsunade. Well, Iruka asked me about Naruto. I didn't tell him anything, but I know he will not stop until he knows, said Kakashi. I will have Shikamaru tell Naruto to pay him a visit, but right now I need the 2 of you to sit down and listen to what I have to tell you. What is it, Lady Hokage? Asked Shizune as she sat down. We found out about the last of the time travelers, said Tsunade. That's good. Why does this involve us? My god, don't tell me we are in the same positions, my lady, said Shizune as she figured out what was going on. What? Kakashi asked. Well, Kakashi, turns out that Sasuke and Hinata took a bunch of genin and promising children during their takeover of the village. Now they could only bring back 2. One was the daughter of Jiraiya and I, the other we found out is Shizune's and yours, said Tsunade as Kakashi's one visible eye widened and Shizune looked at the ground. Our daughter, said Shizune. Yes, her name is Nicta and we have to find her as soon as possible because she is in great danger, said Temari. Something is bugging me, said Kakashi, beside the fact that I now have a daughter. Why would Sasuke pick her to bring back? I mean, I don't have any Kekkei Genkai, and I don't think you do either, Shizune. I don't, said Shizune. True, Kakashi, but your dad doesn't. She has it, said Temari as Kakashi eye widened. She has the white chakra, asked Kakashi. Yes, and I hate to say this, but Sasuke is doing experiments on her to try to find out how to reproduce it, said Temari as Shizune broke into tears. I don't know what is stranger, finding out that I have a daughter or the fact that my daughter is being experimented on, said Shizune as she looked down and her eyes started to water. Kakashi put a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, I'm sure that we will find her, said Kakashi. Meanwhile, Naruto was awoken again from his slumber by a knock at the front door. This better be good, Shikamaru, Naruto said while yawning. Well, Iruka is asking about you, Tsunade said. You can tell him, said Shikamaru. Also, we found out who else Sasuke and Hinata brought back. Who else did they bring back? Sakura questioned as she appeared next to her husband. Nikta, said Shikamaru as the two Namikaze's eyes widened. Alright, now you have our attention, said Naruto. We have to get her back before Sasuke figures out how to replicate her chakra, said Sakura. Okay, here is what we do. Tomorrow we head back to Sea Country. He was there for a reason besides wanting to get one of our friends, said Naruto. Agreed, I will tell Temari. Now I believe you should pay Iruka a visit, said Shikamaru. A few minutes later Naruto was out the door looking for Iruka. It has been an hour and still no word from Kakashi, thought Iruka as he sat in his classroom grading some papers. Still grading papers, said a new voice as Iruka looked around only to see a blonde-haired man standing in a black jacket with orange flames around the bottom. Who are you? Asked Iruka as he looked at the man. Well, it is kind of hard to explain, but I am Naruto, said the man as he looked in Iruka in his eyes. How can you be Naruto? He is a 12-year-old boy. You have to be in your 20s, said Iruka. I am Naruto from 9 years in the future where the village is destroyed and my team was sent back to stop it from happening, said Naruto as he sat down in front of his wide-eyed teacher. Future? You're from the future? Said Iruka as Naruto nodded his head. Yes, I am from the future, however our war has come back with us. When my 4-man team traveled back, our enemy was able to find a way to come back with us, said Naruto. I see, this is hard to believe, said Iruka. Well, this is going to be harder to believe, but of the 8 time travels 5 of them came from our class. Wait, I thought you only had a 4-man squad, said Iruka. He does, said a new voice as Iruka looked toward the door again to see a pink-haired woman. Sakura Haruno? Asked Iruka. I used to be, I am married now, said Sakura. Ah, so you and Sasuke got together, said Iruka as Sakura's eyes narrowed. Never, I want to see that snake S, said Sakura as Iruka looked stunned at the bloodlust in the woman's eyes. Iruka, Sasuke Uchiha is the leader of the Sound, he was the one who took over our village, seeing almost everyone and those who he didn't hate a fate worse than death, said Naruto as Iruka looked stunned. Yeah, I am married to my little fox here, said Sakura as she walked up and sat next to Naruto. Wait, you two are married? Asked Iruka as they nodded their heads. Yeah, and before you ask, of course I know about the Kyuubi, said Sakura. I see, said Iruka, I just thought that you would go with Hinata, Naruto. Hinata is second in command of Sound, said Naruto as Iruka eyes wide. Didn't see that coming, did you? No, I didn't. Hinata was the most gentle, calm student I ever had. How did she become the second in command of Sound? Said Iruka. She went crazy after I proposed to Sakura-chan, which drove her into insanity and throw in her crazy, bloodthirsty, snake of a husband Sasuke Uchiha. Said Naruto. Sasuke and Hinata, well now I don't think anything else can surprise me. Said Iruka. Well, how about this, I am really the son of the 4th Hokage, said Naruto as Iruka's eyes became like dinner plates. You're a Namikaze? Asked Iruka. Yes, also I made a deal with the Kyuubi, he is now my clan summon beast and he gave us a very powerful bloodline limit, said Naruto as both he and Sakura closed their eyes and when they opened they were both bloodshot red with animal SS. Across the village in the Haruno house. I can't believe that you went to their house and made peace with the demon, said Rin. Rin-chan, I made peace with our daughter and her husband. I even said I don't like that Naruto is her husband, but he is and we have to accept that, said Manao as Rin looked at the floor. I can't accept that, she has to be under his control, there is no way she would end up with him. She loves the last Uchiha, said Rin. Rin, I am not supposed to tell you this, but another group of time travels have appeared, said Manao, one of them is the Sasuke Uchiha and already he has retaken control of the Sound. That is the person you want our daughter to be with, a man who wants to see us all less. Still, there are a lot better people she could have married, said Rin. To us maybe, but it is really her choose, isn't it, not ours, and in her eyes apparently Naruto Namikaze is the best in her eyes, said Manao as his wife just looked at him. I still don't like it, said Rin. Well, what would it take it for you to accept them? Asked Manao. I don't know if there is anything, said Rin. Back at the Hokage's office. I thought Naruto said that Sasuke ked me a few weeks after the wedding, asked Kakashi. Yes he did, and the day of your funeral was the day that Shizune found out she was pregnant, said Temari. I see, said Kakashi. Now I know that this is very hard to grasp, but know this, we will do everything in our power to get her back here. Once here we will figure out the next step, said Temari. Yeah, we are leaving tomorrow for Sea Country, Shikamaru said as he appeared. Naruto thinks that Sasuke was there for something other than taking some of our friends. What do you think, Shikamaru? Asked Shizune. You are after all a genius, right? It is the most likely place to begin, but truth is we have no idea where he is. Most of the bases he used he knows that we know where they are at, so he more than likely moved them, said Shikamaru. Also she would be held in the main base, where Sasuke and Hinata stay, so it would be extremely hard to get her out, but we will do it. Thanks, said Shizune. Akatsuki Base, unknown location. Welcome back to the world of the living, Kabuto, said Pain as he stood over the sound ninja who was lying on a bed. Now tell me about Sasuke Uchiha. Well, since he took my arm, I don't see why not, said Kabuto as he looked at his stump of an arm. He gathered all of the former leaders of Sound and in one move took them all prisoner. Then he slowly killed them one by one in front of everyone. Each one had a worse fate than the other before him. Soon I was all that was left. He ate off my arm and broke my legs before sending me to find you with that message. He is a monster to monsters. Sound base, unknown location. Now listen and listen well, you weakling, said Sasuke as a Junin cowered in front of him and Hinata. My wife and I are leaving for something that you need not know about. I will protect this base with mine and my men's lives, my lord and lady, said the Sound Junin. You better or you will wish you had been ked, said Hinata with a grin that made the Sound Junin blood turn to ice. Suddenly Sasuke raised his hand and that turned Hinata's blood to ice. I am sorry my lord if I overstepped my bonds. You did, woman, but it is a minor, said Sasuke before turning back to the Junin. Either way the threat still stands. If you fail us you will wish that you were S. Now leave us. Yes my lord, said the Junin as he left. I am sorry for overstepping my limits, dear husband, said Hinata as Sasuke stood up from his throne. You should be, said Sasuke as he turned his perfected Sharingan on his wife, who screamed and held her head for a second as her mind started to fill with images that would make anyone scream before Sasuke's eyes turned back to normal. Let that be a lesson. Now let's get going. We have people to kill. Yes we do, said Hinata as she stood back up and straightened her hair before following her husband. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.